reached the second round of the Emirates FA Cup, and this weekend the spotlight falls on some of the competition's genuine underdogs.
Quickly! 3-1 down, 4-3 up. Oh, brilliantly done. It's the perfect delivery.
3-2 on the counter.
Fantastic goal.
The third round is potentially 90 minutes away. It's time to dream big. Welcome to the Emirates FA Cup preview show. Coming up, Cup fever at its peak in the Derbyshire town of Buxton.
It's genuinely all everyone spoke to me about since. I'll go to pub, I'll go to shop and people are like, oh, can't wait for second round.
With climate change in the headlines, why Carlisle United are doing their bit to raise awareness.
We make little changes, everybody makes little changes. It adds up to big differences in the fight against climate change.
Stockport's Connor Jennings on the battle for his career and health.
I always wanted to get back playing. Obviously, I got told I probably wouldn't, but I always kept that bit of hope that I would.
And with the third round in sight, can Kidderminster take inspiration from Cup heroes past?
Nobody expected us to win, and it was a particularly good time for me individually and for the team, you know, as a whole.
Situated at the heart of the Peak District is the spa town of Buxton. Positioned 1,000 feet above sea level, the town's football club is the highest in England. And after booking a second-round tie with Morecambe, it has a platform to match its lofty perch.
Girolamo. It's a second bite at it, and this time he takes it. Buxton are heading for the second round.
It was a bit of a blur for me. My friends, my family who came to watch me, they managed to get onto the pitch and jump on me and that, but it was just an unbelievable feeling, and it's only a feeling you'll get in football. I got back to my phone and I think I had like over 500 notifications. One of them said, oh, I'll be back to Ireland Monday anyway. That's your mates for you, innit, end of the day. Dad, quiet please. It's genuinely all everyone spoke to me about since. I'll go to pub, I'll go to shop and people are like, oh, can't wait for second round. It's just life, innit, end of the day. It's normal, play football and then the following week you're back doing your day job.
He leaves normally around 2 or 3, depending on training. So I'd say his total hours per week, they're probably the average of one normal day's tradesman. So I'm lucky to get him here when I can.
It's a decade since a 16-year-old Diego Di Girolamo began to emerge at Sheffield United.
I absolutely loved it. It's where I'd grown up. It's all I knew, really, Sheffield United. I was doing really well at 16 and 17 in the youth team. I was scoring a lot of goals. My dad just picked me up from training one day and he says, you're going to Russia next month. I was like, why? He says, you've been picked to play for Italy under-18s. And I genuinely thought he was joking. He spoke to Arrigo Sacchi and it were happening. I just couldn't believe it.
However, it was while away with Italy that Di Girolamo suffered a career-threatening knee injury.
I got told by the surgeon that there's a chance I might not be able to play again if my ACL don't recover in this certain way. And it's just hard things to wear, especially as a young lad. But looking back now, I wish like, I could tell myself, Joe, it's actually going to be fine, because when I came back, I was flying. I think it was whether I missed football or what.
After a long 15-month road to recovery, a childhood ambition was realised in a fourth-round tie at Preston North End.
I'd played for Sheffield United since being 6 years old. I'd always dreamed of scoring. It was a weird one as well, because my dad's been to every single one of my football games. And for some reason, that's the one game he didn't come to. And I was thinking before the game, if I score, I've got to do a celebration for my dad. It was just my greatest memory in football.
After leaving the Blades in 2016, Di Girolamo had spells at Bristol City and Chesterfield before dropping out of the Football League to play with his brother at Buxton.
I'd fallen out of love with football and I was like, do you know what, let me go and play with my brother, back enjoying football. If it gets me back up to the Football League, it will do. We've got training tonight and I actually can't wait to go. It's quality. Buxton's a great place to be at the minute.
The kind of character he is and the belief he's got in his own talent, he's not a typical centre forward that after a few chances he starts to dwindle in confidence, and that's what he brings. He's an absolute match winner. I have got to say, you know, we've got a fantastic dressing room of players.
Buxton will face Morecambe without influential captain Josh Granite, who's suspended, but Steve Cunningham has no shortage of experience.
There's not just myself, there's Jamie Ward, who's been an international footballer, there's Ben Turner, played in the Premiership, mixed in with lads who are looking to go the other way and progress in the football pyramid, and they definitely can do with the quality that they've got. So yeah, there's a lot of quality in this group.
I think it's a great draw for us because, no disrespect to Morecambe, we're not doing the best in the league. We've got to respect them. I think they're 5 or 6 leagues above us, but it's definitely a game we see as winnable.
Play forward now. Play forward. We'll ask them some questions, and maybe if they just have a bit of an off day and we go above our levels, we could cause another upset.
I used to think football were a job, and like now I think, well, it's not. When I go into football, it makes me a lot more grateful that I'm getting paid to do something that I love. I'm not waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning to go and do some labour.
This season, we're following the road to Wembley. We began in August with the extra preliminary round, all the way through to the competition proper. 729 teams have been whittled down to 84 as we approach the second round, where Shrewsbury, victors at Stratford last time out, face a trip to Cumbria to meet Carlisle United. In the wake of the COP26 summit held in Glasgow, climate change is again in the spotlight. 100 miles away at League Two Carlisle United, it's a fight they know all too well, following the impact of Storm Desmond in 2015.
It was devastating, not just to the club but to everybody around. You know, homes were absolutely ruined. Living in a nightmare for everybody around here, really.
The area that was affected around the ground, it was a big area. We have players who live in clubhouses adjacent to the ground, so they were affected too. It was where they normally stay were washed out.
I think it was about 6.5 foot underwater. Everything had just been completely destroyed, from furniture, the kitchens, living room. When we went back in there, the plaster was off the walls, flooring being ripped up, you know, so it's completely unlivable. When you see the amount of people that were left homeless, it was, where do you go from here?
This wasn't something that just affected us, it affected our families, our friends, our supporters. It was a real time of grief for the whole community.
First thing we could do, I think it was the Sunday morning, was get in and help people that needed the help, chip in and help them after all the support they give us.
The club was very much fighting through it, and it was testament to all the staff that were here at the time as to what they actually did, and we got back on our feet very quickly.
Behind us we've got 2 rivers. These are the flood defences that were put in place. So these are really effective at keeping the water out at a lower level, but they do work and they do keep the water out. We were fully insured, so the rebuild from last time was quite straightforward.
We'd got a new pitch, the dressing rooms had been refurbished, much of the hospitality had been brought back into use. We were just missing offices. We kind of looked forward, and that was one of the things that I was involved in, saying, well, what do we need to learn from this and deal with in case it comes again? So a lot of the work was on flood proofing.
Following the floods in 2005, when they rebuilt the shop, they built it up higher, but unfortunately in 2015 the water was at a higher level, so we still suffered some damage, but not as much as the previous time, so the rebuild was a bit more straightforward this time.
The club in the past had looked at relocating, but then clearly the value of this site is massively damaged by the flood risk, and with climate change set to worsen for a period, it's only going to get worse. So we find ourselves in a really difficult position through the history of starting off here all those years ago.
A different battle faces Carlisle on the pitch, with the club just above the drop zone in League Two. Newly appointed manager Keith Millen hopes their fortunes can change when they welcome Shrewsbury to Brunton Park.
It's a nice game to have. Obviously you have the pressures of the league, but the FA Cup is so important, and it's one to look forward to. They're probably the favourites. I've seen them play. They're not having great form, but they're a League One side and they've got good players there, and they've got a very good experienced manager.
I think with good crowd backing, we can really have a good day. And that's what cup football's all about. Let's make some memories and see if we can get through to round 3, and then who knows what can happen.
I mean, I've been to an FA Cup final, I know what it's like. They're the sort of things you remember as a player, and they're the things that I want our players to remember, hopefully, by having a good cup run. And if you do have a good cup run, I definitely believe it has an impact in a good way in your league form.
While the immediate focus is FA Cup progression, building a sustainable future remains at the heart of the long-term vision.
If we take some steps in the right direction to when we're replacing things, replace them with things that are better for the future and better for climate change, then we can encourage others to do the same. And we make little changes, everybody makes little changes, it adds up to big differences in the fight against climate change.
I think we all know that football clubs have a strong voice in all kinds of social issues. We've seen it in the work of Marcus Ratchford. So on climate change, we all have to stand up and be counted. We have to make our voices heard. There's lots of clubs doing great work, and I think we can all play our part, and certainly we'll be trying to do our best at Carlisle United on climate change.
Still to come, Kidderminster Harriers had their sights set on a third-round spot.
The prize at the end of it is massive, and that's for both clubs. They'll believe they can win, and we believe we can.
And it's recent history that poses a problem in our FA Cup quiz.
I can tell you one in the 80s, no problem at all. Tell me the recent stuff, because I'm not involved in it, I don't watch it as much.
There is Conor Jennings. Good to see him back, a player involved for the first time tonight after a long time on the sidelines. Thankfully coming through a battle with a rare form of bone cancer, chondroid sarcoma.
I always wanted to get back playing. Obviously, a lot of the time I got told I probably wouldn't, but I always kept that bit of hope that I would. Game against Kings Lynn last week, finally got the nod to get warmed up, got last 10 minutes.
It strikes superbly by Conor Jennings.
It's a really nice moment for me and my family, the staff who's helped me through it all. It was a collective reward, really, so yeah, it was nice.
As Conor Jennings made his long-awaited return to the football pitch, the celebrations marked the end of a 9-month battle for his health and his career.
Not being able to play, it's been really tough. Obviously, you're used to your daily routine, mentally and physically. You know, you've got no release. I've got a little lad who I'm really thankful for, so you know, just take it day by day. Yeah, just enjoy life.
He's a massively driven individual. He's one that, even in the short time we've been here, when he's out on the training pitch, he wants to win. And he ultimately is playing football now with the motivation that it was nearly taken away from him through no fault of his own. So that could be hopefully pretty dangerous for teams to come up against.
A month into his tenure at Stockport, and Dave Challoner has yet to taste defeat. His National League side are a team on the up.
It's been brilliant. It's been made really easy in terms of the welcome I've had from the staff, and the players have been great. Really taken to the stuff we've asked them to do, and have, I suppose, shown what probably a lot of people thought maybe from the outside looking in. This is a talented group that should be competing at the top end of the table. We've had, like I say, we've had a good start, and we want that to continue. The plans that the owner has here, the infrastructure that's in place, gives us every chance to be successful. So we hope that we can be part of a team, a group, a management team that gets this football club back where it should be.
Challoner's biggest result so far was undoubtedly the first-round win over Bolton, a night to savour.
TV picked a good game for a neutral. Watching that game, it had everything. I wish we didn't have to score 5 to win, because the 3 we conceded weren't very good, but we showed an awful lot of character, as well as an awful lot of ability within the game, and it was a cup tie that everything. Thankfully for us, we ended up on the right side of the result.
Crankshaw could be in here. This could finish it. It's Crankshaw! It's all over now.
It's a bit of a blur, to be fair, that 2-3 minutes. I scored, run over to the edge of the park end and threw my shirt up, and I just don't know where the shirt went, and then everyone just ran onto me. But yeah, it was class scenes. It was definitely something to remember that.
Crankshaw can't find his shirt.
It was a shirt collector who had it, so he gave it me back and I swapped him for another shirt, so I'm glad I've got the shirt back.
You know, it was carnage, you know, you all the fans running on the pitch. No, it was special, you know, that's what the FA Cup is.
Up next, League One leaders Rotherham.
We know it's going to be really tough, and it's a really good marker for us to see where we're at and how we can cope with something not just different, but on a different level than we've been used to playing against.
I think we've just got to train as well and get our game plan together. But the lads are just carrying momentum. There's no fear in the team now. We're just going to go there and just do our best, and hopefully we can come away with a result at the end of the night.
That's the FA Cup, you know, testing yourself all the time. The last few results were all full of confidence. We've got some great players, great characters, so yeah, we're in really good form at the moment, and hopefully it can continue.
There are 20 ties in total on second round weekend, and here are some to look out for. One non-league club is guaranteed a place in the third round draw. St Albans travel to Boreham Wood after a famous victory over Forest Green.
And it's a night that 4,000 fans at Clarence Park will never forget.
Wigan were made to work hard against Solihull Moors in the first round. Callum Lang's extra-time winner proving decisive. The 2013 winners meet League Two Colchester next. Conference North Gateshead booked a home tie with Charlton after leaving it late in their replay with Altrincham. Macaulay Langstaff with the Heeds stoppage time winner. Hartlepool have appointed Graham Lee as manager. The former Pools defender replaces Dave Challoner in the hot seat and will be hoping his side can find the same form at Lincoln that they showed in the win at Wickham last time out. 5 years ago, League Two Salford were semi-professional and Chesterfield were a Football League team. How the tables have turned. The Spyrites have been inspired in this season's conference, so will fancy their chances of an upset. And former Exeter City manager Paul Tisdale has taken the reins at struggling Stevenage. His first assignment is an away tie with Yeovil Town.
Same time, every time I score a goal, I always get the same feeling, and like it's one of the best feelings ever.
Well, we've had great history with the football club, and that's why we all love the competition.
When you play football for a long time, there's only certain periods in it that you do remember. There's lots of ups and downs in football, and it was a particularly good time for the club and for me individually and for the team, you know, as a whole.
As non-league Kidderminster Harriers prepare to face Halifax, cup inspiration is in no shortage at their Agborough home. The Harriers have reached at least the third round 5 times, even making it as far as the 5th round in 1994.
You know, we've come through a couple of rounds before that. As a non-league club, you have to go through the first round, the second round to get to the third round in the first place. And it's quite rare that a non-league club even can get into the third round and play such a big team as Birmingham City. Nobody expected us to win, but we were doing well in the league. We had a good team and we were top of the conference at the time. Things went for us on the day, but you know, we made the most of it and it was great to be part of. The whole day I was kind of determined that I was going to do myself justice, and it just worked out well. I had a feeling that things were going well. As the second half progressed, I was getting a lot more of the ball, the game was opening up. It was a great feeling, and obviously that is a big highlight for me. Preston, we played here at Agborough, which was great. We had a full house. I think within the dressing room we firmly believed we could win, and it proved on the day we were the better football team, and obviously led on to the 5th round against West Ham.
I was at Kidderminster yesterday to see the Harriers become the first non-league side to reach this 5th round draw in 9 years. Kidderminster are number 11.
Number 12. By Notts County or West Ham United.
We failed at that hurdle, but it was a bit unfortunate, only losing 1-0. The whole cup run, we did get cup fever and the whole place was buzzing, the town, and it was really a good time to be a part of this great club, really.
I don't remember it a lot, to be honest. I was only 7, so but I've heard a lot since then, and a lot of old players come back and watch the games, and I've heard all the story and the history from that. But wow, to get to the 5th round for a non-league club is some feat, and fair play to them. And you know, I'm not saying we're going to get there this time, but it's something to kind of emulate, really. I've had some good cup runs myself. We got to the 3rd round. We played Coventry away when they were in the Championship back in 2008, and we took about 3,000 or 4,000 down. That was excellent.
You know, I've been down 3 or 4 times this year to watch, and I've been quite impressed with what I've seen.
OK then, boys, in you come. Are we ready? GPS is on. Monty, you got yours in. Sammy, you're going to take the lads on a free pitch lap.
Russ and Jim, the management team, have obviously got a good spirit going. You can tell by watching them, they're very well organised. They've got match winners in the team, which is, you know, what you need if you're going to progress in these sort of cup games. You need someone who can score a goal out of nothing.
I always get like the same feeling when I score goals, and like it's one of the best feelings ever. For us to get through, it'll be a big one for the club, for the fans, like it's just the whole community, especially like getting through the last round. You can see like around Kidderminster, it's like so positive. So I'm just hoping we do get through this one, and then, you know, smiles keep carrying on.
The prize at the end of it is massive, and that's for both clubs. They'll believe they can win, and we believe we can. So, you know, we're at home, we'll have a good crowd, and we'll have everyone behind us, and we've got to hopefully on that day produce the magic of what can be a great FA Cup story.
I'm hoping to go and buy a ticket now so I can watch the match. So just wish them all the best. I hope it you know, they have a game that they can all look back on fondly in 20, 30 years, like we're talking about now.
Finally, it's time to put our guests to the test in our cup quiz. Confident?
I'm going to get a potential 0 out of 8.
Well, let's see. Here we go, question 1. Buxton's match winner in the first round was former Italy under-20 international Diego Di Girolamo. But which Italian player has scored in 2 FA Cup finals?
Oh, dear.
Di Canio.
Zola.
Oh, I've got it. Zola.
Zola.
No, the ball fella.
Violi.
One was very early.
Di Matteo.
Di Matteo.
Correct. Chelsea's Roberto Di Matteo scored in both the 1997 and 2000 finals. Question 2. Kidderminster are playing at this stage for the first time in 8 seasons. But which 3 non-league clubs have reached the second round in each of the last 2 years?
Can't be Chesterfield.
Chesterfield?
Chesterfield.
I'll go Torquay.
Surely.
Yeovil.
Stockport County.
Stockport.
Us.
Boreham Wood.
The 3 non-league teams to have reached this stage in the last 2 seasons are Stockport, Boreham Wood and Yeovil. Next question. St Albans goalkeeper Michael Johnson lost his lucky Inter Milan towel in the celebrations after beating Forest Green. But which former Inter boss will manage in the cup this season for the first time since lifting it in 2018?
Claudio Ranieri.
Oh, Tottenham.
Conte.
Conte?
Conte?
Oh, yeah.
Unlucky, Dave. Antonio Conte did indeed lift the cup with Chelsea in 2018 and will manage Tottenham in the 3rd round. Question 4. The first round threw up plenty of surprises, but which League 2 team staged an incredible comeback from 3-1 down in extra time to reach round 2?
League 2? I'll go Newport.
Salford.
Fleetwood?
Bristol Rovers.
Bristol Rovers.
Well done. Bristol Rovers did score 3 times late on to complete a famous comeback win over Oxford United. Last question. 5 former winners crashed out in the first round. How many are taking part this weekend?
Oh.
8.
3. 4.
4.
6.
5.
5. Spot on, Connor. There are 5 former winners in action this weekend. Charlton, Ipswich, Wimbledon, Portsmouth and Wigan. And with 4 out of 5, this week's winner is Dave Challoner.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
We're all set for the Emirates FA Cup 2nd round in this special 150th anniversary season. It's an occasion that usually delivers.
Oh, what a goal!
Enjoy the football, and we'll see you next time.
Michael Gass with an absolute beauty. And it's in! And the joys